Something big is coming at the end of this week that will impact more than 3 million kids in this country, their working parents, and the economy. And this may even impact you, whether you have kids or not. At midnight on Saturday, the American Rescue Plan will expire. You may be thinking, what the heck does a pandemic-era stimulus bill have to do with kids? Well, there was provision in that bill that gave a total of $39 billion in new federal funding for childcare. When the industry was struggling to stay afloat, about $24 billion of that fund was given to about 220,000 childcare and early education centers nationwide to offset the extremely high cost of childcare in this country. And it basically propped up the industry. The funding was also supplementing salaries for those workers at the daycare centers. And about $15 billion of it turned into grant money for low-income families for childcare, so the parents had a chance to go back to work. But with that funding going away and childcare costs continuing to increase faster than inflation for the last 5 straight months, some experts believe it's very possible that as many as 70,000 childcare centers, or 1 in 3 in this country, could close. And the ones that are able to stay open will likely have to increase their prices. And in this already tough economy, that means many parents are going to be left with a very difficult decision. Quit their jobs to stay home and take care of their kids, or do what they can to try and stretch the family budget even farther to pay for these increased prices. Now, even if you don't have kids, here's why this could also impact you. This whole mess could drive up inflation for all of us. Now, I've been reporting that the jobs market is finally starting to cool off. And when the jobs market cools off enough, the Federal Reserve is projecting that wages will start to fall in line with inflation, and the cost of goods and services will then start to come down. But if more parents are forced to leave the workforce to take care of their kids, that opens up a bunch of new jobs, which will then heat up the jobs market once again. That drives up inflation. You know what else drives up inflation? Increased childcare costs. And simple supply and demand theory says when there are fewer childcare centers available and more kids that need to be watched, the price for that service goes up. And don't forget, when those childcare centers close, all those workers are going to lose their jobs, and that could amount to about 230,000 jobs lost, which would then drive up the unemployment rate. Now, the Democrats in the House have been pushing for months to add $16 billion in emergency childcare funding to this year's budget to try and steer us away from this iceberg. But that proposal is going nowhere in the House, as Republicans say it's that type of added spending that's driving up inflation in the first place.